Good morning, everybody. This is Grant from State of the Spark, and I am super pumped for today's show. Got great news for you from some calls I was on this morning. That was phenomenal. Early morning calls about the cryptoverse and what's going on with our project there. And what I learned from these mega founders, I was on the call with several mega founders who have launched really big projects, and they fed into me, which was awesome. And they shared a principle, which I'm going to share with you today. And that principle is a principle that's true in real life as well as the cryptoverse. We're going to be sharing that a little bit today. But before we do that, you know what we do on Fridays. We're talking about our small business principle and how to basically, and not just small business, it's creators. I want to work with creators and catalysts, people that are making an impact in their world. These people often are creating businesses, and we're doing training. We're helping these people develop their own type of freedom so that they can help other people be free internally, mentally, physically, emotionally, financially. And today we're talking a little bit about that principle that's true in the cryptoverse as well as real life. But we're also going to be talking about other news that people don't want you, or news that people don't know about, that will make you more interesting around the water cooler, that'll make you have more interesting things to talk about than just what the mainstream media wants you to talk about. We're going to be talking a little bit about other news, what's going on with asteroids, what's going on with my own private art gallery that I'm going to be doing this weekend in art news, and what's going on in the cryptoverse, just briefly in terms of other news. But before any of that, you know how we start our show. Morning cup of gratitude. What are you grateful for this morning? What's got you pumped? I want to hear in the comments below, if you're catching this on YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're catching this at, if you're catching this on Twitter, I want to hear in the comments what you're grateful for this morning. Tell me what makes you happy. Tell me what gets you pumped. And you know I'm going to start. And if it's not obvious, what I'm grateful for this morning was I am so grateful that technology allows us to connect and is getting better all the time, that allows us to connect with major influencers, major creators. This morning, as I mentioned, I was on two separate calls. Actually, I had not two separate calls this morning. I was on one call this morning. I was on a separate call yesterday afternoon. And these calls were so powerful because I was immediately around one of the gentlemen, actually, was a two-time platinum musician, one-time gold record musician, and he's made his full transition into the cryptoverse, and he's already made enough money this year, more money this year in crypto than he has ever made in the music industry, even having won these massive awards. I was able to ask him questions directly about building his projects. I was really able to connect with him and Morgan and so many other influencers in the space, primarily because it was really early in the morning, but also because of the technology. So what I'm grateful for is that I'm surrounded by awesome people with awesome ideas, making awesome breakthroughs that are helping the average person. No, these people aren't just trading video game cards in their basement like Pogs or Pokemon. They're doing that, but they're also creating technologies that last, encouraging businesses and people to really make a difference. So I'm super grateful for that. What are you grateful for? If you can't express your gratitude, then what are you even doing? Share in the comments below what you're absolutely grateful for. Like and subscribe, and then share the show with somebody. Today, one or two people who need encouragement, who want a little bit of insight into the cryptoverse, but also how we're bridging Web3 and crypto with small business training and catalysts and people that are making an impact in the world. Share, tag them, like or subscribe so that they actually get access to this awesome information. Let's talk about other news that'll lift you up, news that'll make you wonder about this universe, and hopefully news that will educate you and make you a little more valuable to the water cooler conversation. Let's talk about returning to wonder, looking up at the stars. Let's talk about it. Part of what I love about the cryptoverse and NFTs right now is there's so many projects that are focused on space and aliens and star travel and wonder and magic. There's so many awesome pieces of art and collections out there that are about that. And it's really igniting in me my passion with wonder. A lot of my fascination here with my own art has this space-like feel, and that's what I try to do. And so I've had a lot of gratitude for that. But this morning in real space, the Eta Aquarids. What are the Eta Aquarids? And for those who do know, I'm probably butchering the pronunciation. The Eta Aquarids is a meteor shower that we pass through once a year. We pass through its sister, the Orionids, the other part of the year. And what is this? This is when Earth passes through the tail of Halley's Comet. You see, Halley's Comet does its little orbit around the sun. I say little orbits every 75 years, and Earth passes right through its tail, its debris field, if you will. And this debris field from the tail of Halley's Comet is where we get the Eta Aquarids and the Orionids meteor showers each and every year. It was late last night and early this morning. You might, but likely not be able to catch that tonight. Now, Halley's Comet right now is 2 billion miles away. And just so that you get a grasp of billion, if you had 1 million seconds, it would take you, what is it, a week to count through? But if you had a billion seconds, it would take you 500 years to get through, something crazy like that. Something crazy. I might be butchering these numbers, but it's crazy. So the Eta Aquarids meteor shower, you could see between 10 to 20 asteroids or meteors per hour when the Eta Aquarids pass through. Now, if you want to see more about this, let me drop you a link. Here you go. Boom, boom, boom. There you go. Check it out. Go view it for yourself and make sure that you're plugged in. I know that we're plugged into a lot of investing and a lot of small business, a lot of what's going on with a cutting edge technology like web technology and internet technology, and now crypto and Web3 technology. But I encourage you to put your phone down and at night, look up at the stars, take 15 minutes, go out for a walk, look up, not just down at your phone, look up and actually return to wonder. And this is why I'm in the crypto space. This is why I talk about science and astrology or astronomy, though I'm not opposed to astrology. Why we talk about these things is to return to wonder. Let's talk about the markets and other news. So in the TradFi markets and the DeFi markets today, TradFi markets being traditional finance, DeFi markets being decentralized finance. One of those are the markets you're used to, the stock market. The other markets are the markets you're just becoming used to, cryptocurrencies. Now, cryptocurrencies are only one aspect of the cryptoverse. When we talk about NFTs, sometimes they're correlated, sometimes they're not. When we talk about Web3, sometimes that technology and blockchain, sometimes that technology is correlated to the crypto market. Sometimes it's not. Crypto markets is just, it's an interesting aspect that I could have a piece of art that also has a market economy, but also has an aesthetic appeal. That's the dynamism of the crypto space. So in TradFi markets, the S&P 500 was down towards the end of the day and this morning at 3.55%, down hard. That's a hard number down. At one point, it was down 5%. I think it closed roughly about 4.5%. Interestingly, I announced to my Discord people and my patrons who are my buy alerts, we announced a short position. A short position is when you bet that the market is going down. And my short position was against treasury bonds or the bond rate. And if the S&P was down 3.55%, my position was up 3.22%. So as I'm watching a bear market begin to form in the TradFi and traditional finance, am I going to increase this position? Not trading advice to you, but if you're wondering, I will probably be increasing this short position. If you want more about that position, either become a patron and get the patron or join the Discord. I've talked about it in the Discord. And the Discord is where we're going to be forming our next piece of other news, but we'll get to that in just a quick second. So in the traditional markets, in the TradFi markets, it's down 3.55%. My short position is up 3.22%. So that was hedging. So I own S&P 500, but I also own this short position. And as I'm watching my position kind of crumble a little bit and the sky is falling, my short position is increasing. And I'm like, hey, I protected myself there at least. That's looking pretty good. And the DeFi market. Now, the DeFi market is interesting. A lot of people think that the DeFi market, hey, Bitcoin's going to go down because the stock market goes down. Bitcoin's going to go up because the stock market goes up. People are confused about this. They are considered decoupled. They don't have any mechanisms except human emotion that connect the two. Now, human emotion is a driving force and important and a strong one. We cannot ignore it, but they're there. So Bitcoin is down 8%. 8% is hard down for Bitcoin, but for those who have been holding Bitcoin, no big deal. In fact, if anything, buying opportunity, I will be adding to my positions, both for our investor group, the Archon group. If you're watching Archon group, we will be increasing our holdings for Bitcoin and Ethereum today. Now, I personally will be increasing my holdings in personal holdings, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, and then a slew of Metaverse cryptos. Bitcoin is down 8% yesterday. Ethereum was down 7.19%. Cardano is down 8.6%. Now, perspective here. Why have I been reporting on the markets lately, including the crypto markets? Because I'm trying to inoculate you so that you don't panic when other people panic. You see, if we're talking about freedom, personal freedom, mental freedom, emotional freedom, one of the things we don't want to do is be emotional traders, emotional buyers, emotional investors. If I sold emotionally on my real estate, I'd be a mess. If I sold emotionally on my stock market positions, my TradFi positions, I'd be a mess. If I sold emotionally on my crypto positions, I'd be a mess. You're not down until you sell. And you make your money on the buy. A rich mentor of mine, a rich real estate investor in Vero Beach, Florida, told me you always make your money on the purchase, not the sell. And I had never understood that until I got into real estate, but now I'm starting to understand that more as I'm messing with NFTs. When I purchase is when I've made my money, and now I just ride the equity and the profits from there. I say all of that to say this. If I tell you the S&P 500 moves 3 points, yesterday it moved down 3 points. That's dramatic for the S&P 500. The S&P 500 on average makes about 8% a year. Now that number's been adjusting in the last few bull markets. We used to say it makes about 13% a year, but it hasn't done that so much. It's done between 8 and 13. Some people average it to 11% a year. I offer a conservative average. The conservative average for the S&P 500 is that it's made about 8% a year. Think about that. Over a 365-day cycle, the S&P 500 does about 8%. If it's down 3.55% in one day, that's significant. Now, it could bounce back today. We could see. I'm not predicting today's market. I'm just letting you know what happened. And so if you say that about the NASDAQ, these are big moves, and people know there are major companies and major financial institutions that are screwed when you have a movement like that. Interestingly, again, my short position is up by that much, so I'm not too worried, and I don't attach too much weight to the TradFi markets because I'm so focused on the crypto markets. Now, people then translate that and say, "Well, Grant, you said this is down 3% and Bitcoin's down 8 and Ethereum's down 7. Should we now freak out? Is now the time to freak out?" Well, A, if you're a Spark citizen, meaning you're part of the Spark show, or you're part of the Spark Discord, and you're trying to build our non-location nation of freedom-minded people, people that are minded, are have agency, and they can express who they are and be who they are and build their own businesses and have their own economy. State of the Spark has its own economy, and Spark citizens manage their own economy, whether through the Spark Nation or whether through their own responsibility, taking responsibility for their finances by moving their finances to the cryptoverse, which I've done a large chunk of, not big enough. But in the DeFi markets, if you're paying attention, if the S&P 500 being down 3% is enough for people to freak out, that it's freaking out relative to itself. It only makes 8% a year. Bitcoin has 10x'd every year for the last 11 years, minus two particular situations when it was down 80%. And you say, down 80%, good night, we've lost it. Well, only if you sold low. If you continue to buy low, it would continue to 10x every year. That's 1,000% return. So if it's down 10% on a particular day, now it's time to just increase our position. Hopefully your dollar cost averaging daily, if not weekly, if not monthly, continuing to dollar cost average your position. I know I am, and I'm happier for it. When Ethereum is down 7%, Ethereum hasn't done 10x every single year, but it has done it's done over 100% return every single year for the last few years, minus a few exceptions, but those positions relative to its own growth, a negative 7% in a single day is no big deal. So you have to understand the market. So the reason I share the TradFi markets with you guys is I want to inoculate you, A, against the hype of the traditional markets, B, against the hype of the crypto markets, the DeFi markets. I don't want you to translate what's going on in the TradFi markets to the DeFi markets. There is some correlation because there is emotional correlation. And what I hope to inoculate Spark citizens for, State of the Spark and Spark Nation, is I'm hoping to inoculate you to the emotion of and go, I'm hoping to reprogram you that when I report markets down because you've been a citizen, a good steward of your finances, and you have a savings account, you have a rainy day account. I hope you do what I do, is that's like pull out the horns, and we know it's buying time. It's opportunity season. We're going to be sweeping the floors of these NFT projects. We're going to that we believe in, not flip. I don't believe in flipping. I don't believe in trading. I believe in investing. I believe in investing. And so we're looking at a major investment opportunity. Marissa and I tell the story Marissa and I, in the beginning of the pandemic, we saw the market tank and everyone got super conservative and super freaked out. And we challenged ourselves, are we contrarians? Do we believe in financial freedom and taking control of our financial destiny? And the answer is yes. And so part of taking control of your destiny, not just your financial destiny, your personal destiny, part of taking control of your destiny is taking control of your self-education. So we've studied and we've built our skills, and we knew that was the time to go hard. So we put a huge chunk of our savings. At the time, it was over a quarter of our entire savings, our nest egg, and we put it in, and that played out. And as you guys know, it tripled. It beyond tripled in just about 18 months. It did really well for us. So those are the markets. Let's talk about art news. I'm learning from the Vatican. You see, on Wednesday, I passed on the news, the early alpha, that the Vatican is going online with its art collection through a company whose name I shared then. I don't have it off the top of my head. Forgive me. Go back to Wednesday's show, and I've got it in the comments there. And they're launching their own gallery, and I got super curious. And in one of the phone calls I was on today, one of the spaces, the Twitter spaces I was on today, we as a group went to one of the guests' galleries. One of the speakers was saying, hey, I just launched this service. And we went to their virtual gallery in the metaverse. It was a physical gallery or a three-dimensional, not physical. It was a three-dimensional gallery. And there was 30 of us that all were there. We were all communicating. We were talking on the space, but we were milling about their gallery. And I loved this experience. I could see this person's art collection, not only what they've curated themselves and purchased, but what they have created. And I got super inspired, and I started my own gallery. So in this small piece of art other news this weekend, I'm looking at actually putting on my own free gallery for those who will be involved. I'll announce it tomorrow or set it up tomorrow and then announce it Sunday and let you see some of my own creations as well as some of my own collections. And I really look forward to that. We'll be doing that together. So I'm going to try to get that going. If I don't get it going, it's probably for technical and time reasons. So don't give me crap. It will come soon. But as someone who's trying to bring you and introduce you and onboard you to this making our three-dimensional world four-dimensional with Web3, I really want you to check it out. So that'll be coming soon. And last but not least, a little bit of alpha on our project, our own personal development, small business coaching and training project meets Web3. Let's talk about it. Thursday, I had a meeting with one of my founding partners, James Joseph, awesome guy, very encouraging to me. And he's not into Web3, as it were. He's into small business coaching, mentoring, and training. He's been doing this for underdeveloped people, minorities, women, and ministries for a long time. He was a great voice into my life, and we met, got some major breakthroughs. And what we're doing is, the reason I'm sharing this with you is this. I am trying to put it all on the table. We have several companies with State of the Spark, and our mission with State of the Spark right there, boom, is igniting lives of explosive significance. And our big, hairy, audacious goal is to launch 10,000 creators. 10,000. And I don't even say small business anymore because of cryptocurrencies and Web3, you could be an artist creator, but have a mission-mindedness and have a business component to it. So I used to say we want to launch small businesses, and that is true conceptually, but I wanted a more inclusive term. So State of the Spark is evolving to ignite 10,000 creators and curators. And this world where pieces of art could actually have utility, pieces of art and creation that have a creative that are completely right brain could also be having a massive scalable left brain opportunity. And no, it's not about Web3. You could have a lawn company, and we're looking to support you if you are what we consider a catalyst creator. So State of the Spark, our mission is to ignite 10,000 lives of explosive significance, or launch a million, reach a million lives of explosive significance by launching 10,000 creators. That's what we're focused on. And we have struggled for years on the best way to do this. We have skills of trainers. We have skills of business coaches. We have skills in accounting. We have web design skills. We have all of these skills, but there was a missing element, and it was NFTs. It was the access pass. It was the community inclusiveness of not necessarily the Discords. The Discord's just the tool, but the community that is thriving around cryptocurrency is a community that is hungry to create and passionate for their niches. And we're going to encourage those niches. And so the update is we've just been assembling our team. If you're in the Discord, we've shown the conceptual art for the initial pass. A light roadmap that is coming is we have a pass for the founding group, and this group will be these 10,000 people we're launching. So not just investors. This is not just an investment group. This is a group for creators. And we're curating advisors in that group to help you not only launch Web3 so that you have developers on hand, but also the biz ops, the biz operations of how do I actually set up my accounting again? And how do I actually make that talk to my Web3 technologies again? How do I actually curate the artists again? How do I become a better manager so that I don't flop like a lot of the DAOs flopped in the early days? There's a lot of good DAOs right now, but they flop. I believe they flop because of their biz ops were horrible. And so Spark and Spark Nation is all about igniting lives of explosive significance. We want to empower more creators, more catalyst creators. And these are small businesses or big businesses, maybe, but they're communities of people that have a passion for a niche, but they might, and we've discovered they have a huge gap in the business management, business operations, and business mentoring. They're not experienced. They're passionate, but they need help in the area of experience. That's what State of the Spark is all about. We have a framework for small business, MSPBA. We have a framework for mental health, the TLE. This is all happening in our Discord already. So we're going to codify this and we're going to gate this a little bit with our Spark Citizen Access NFT Pass. Then from there, we're going to do an airdrop of our own PFP, which I'm super nerded out about. I'm nerdy about this stuff. It's going to be an 8-bit figure that I'll tell you more about once we have some of the conceptual art, and we'll sneak peek it to the Discord users. But that will also be a launch. And then each of these launch areas will have different niches. We've discovered that with our website clients, we have hundreds of website clients, and they've gravitated towards their own communities and their own groups. We're going to nurture these groups because each of these groups have specific finance needs and accounting needs and bookkeeping needs. Each of these groups have specific marketing needs. Each of these groups have certain management needs. What should their websites look like? What should their marketing lingo look like? How should they actually be launching the infopreneurs? We got a bunch of coaches and infopreneurs. How should they be managing their business? What if they're doing their own crypto NFT rollout? How do we mentor these groups and serve these groups so that we can accomplish our mission of igniting 1 million lives of explosive significance by launching 10,000 creators? That's what we're doing. That's what State of the Spark is all about. And it's going to start with its initial NFT pass. If that interests you, jump in the Discord, raise your hand and say, Grant, I am massively interested. How do I level up and get involved in this community? We're going to actually airdrop and basically have grants, financial grants to these companies. We're going to be cross-pollinating each other's airdrops so that if you have let's say you have a marketing company and you have a web design company, if that web design company needs marketing and that marketing company has its own NFT line or its own airdrops, they're going to be airdropping to each other for services, which leads us to a little bit of the roadmap about the currency that will be coming in the group as well. But the real focus, why all of this, you know, if you've been watching crypto for a minute, you know that these technologies are becoming solid. These community norms and community etiquette in Web3 is becoming normalized. And now we can add a fourth dimension to something we've been doing just as trainers in the Web2 space. As coaches in the Web2 space, we can only impact so many people doing one-on-one coaching. We can only impact so many people doing webinars. And it sounds scalable, but it's actually very difficult because the community is not managing one another. It's still just a talking head talking to you. But in the community space, we can have the community coaching the community. And it becomes less centralized as a community launching creators. And by creators, I mean small businesses. I mean catalyst service-based companies, but also Web3 and crypto companies. How does crypto affect service-based companies and normal companies? We can help with that, but also support you with your taxes, also support you with your marketing, also support you with your web presence. So there's a lot of benefits coming through this. We're pulling together the smartest people in real life, our Web2 circles, and we're onboarding them into the Web3 circles to prepare you to onboard your ideas and your business, onboard your ideas and your business into the Web3 space. So that's my quick update on what's going on, why you're seeing all this stuff. Yes, we've gone wide in our messaging. Yes, we've gone wide in the things we're experimenting with, but we've been trying to acclimate to this Web3 space. And now that we can see how Web3 and crypto and NFTs can help the mission of igniting lives of explosive significance, we're starting to hone that vision in for you. If you want early alpha, if you want to be involved, I beg you, please come into our Discord. Let's hang, let's talk, and let's level you up. Let's serve you. And let's also see how we can achieve this mission of igniting 1 million lives of explosive significance by launching 10,000 dreamers, 10,000 catalysts, 10,000 creators into their business or their idea or their community space. I think you get it. If you get it, if you know, you know. I appreciate you guys. Find me on the Twitter space. No matter what you do, remember why we're doing any of this. Igniting lives of explosive significance, starting with your own. Have a killer day.